Jody Kerzman, more good news leftovers, and this is one of my favorite stories that you've done in a long, long time, and you always do a great job, but these ladies in Wing just epitomize friendship.
Right? I'm still smiling about them. And I have to tell you the backstory to this story. People ask a lot, and you've asked me this, how do you find your stories?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they actually just come right to you. And so I was at Sauerkraut Day in Wishick, and this woman came up to me, and we had a nice long conversation in the middle of the street in Wishick, which is a fairly safe place to have a conversation. And she told me all about this great story, and we exchanged phone numbers. And I was thinking, I have to call her. I can't remember what that was. She texted me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
she reached out to you.
Yes. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And I got too far into the conversation. It was too awkward to say, remind me what that story was again. I just remembered that I really thought it was a great story and I wanted to
try and piece it together through the conversation.
So we lined it up. I'm driving to Wing that day thinking, I can't remember what I'm doing, but I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right?
Yeah, oh, that was a great
so
story.
Good. So these these ladies have been friends since they were in elementary school. It's 60 years. They've been in each other's weddings, all but Susie. Susie was the musical one, so she didn't get to be a bridesmaid for anybody.
She had to sing.
She had to sing. She's still a tiny bit bitter about it. I don't blame her either. But they have just stayed friends forever. They graduated in the 70s, between 74 and 77. This was a photo shoot they did when Candace turned 60. She said, all I want for my birthday, you guys, is a professional photo with all of us, which is so cool because one of them has passed away since then.
That's too bad.
But this car.
The Falcon.
Yeah. Punk, they call her. Diana is Punk. There's a story behind that, and it's not my story to share. She was the only one that had a car in high school, and it was a 61 Falcon, and she just really wanted to find something. This is a 62, but it's close. And when they all piled in there, so fun. I could have driven around with them forever. The car was smoking a little bit when we stopped, so it needs a little bit of work. She's going to get it painted, and she wants to get the interior redone. But the memories are just flooding back for these women, and it's so very cool. I left there thinking I need to be better about staying in touch with my high school and college friends, right? Because how lucky are we to have them?
You know, we have friends from college and things, but there's something about high school friends because there are no skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, well, and where we grew up, you went to school with the same people from kindergarten until you graduated.
I told Jody before we came on the air, before we started this segment, I said one of my favorite lines of all time came from that story, and that's when Punk said, you know, evidently this car shrunk because we don't fit in it as well as we used to.
And I had said to her, hold on, I'm looking how many seats and there were 7 of, how are you all going to fit?
Yeah.
And that's when she
said. There were bench seats back then too. It's not like today where
and there were not seatbelt rules.
Yep.
You know, in the 70s.
Oh, I remember being in the back window, you know, taking a nap back there.
Times have changed. Yes.
We digress. Yes. All right, speaking of...
But okay, one more thing about that story. So when I walked in, I was like, oh, I know you. It was one of our sales reps' moms.
Oh.
Mike Wolf's mom.
Okay, well, yeah.
She stayed very much in the background. She did not want to be in. But when I got back, I happened to bump into Mike in the hallway, and I said, saw your mom today. And he goes, oh boy. I said, and all her high school friends. And he said something about, there was a head shake and kind of an eye roll about the cackling hens. But he loves them.
Yeah.
And loves that his mom has this great group of friends.
It seems like a great group of ladies.
Yeah, you cannot help but
good for
smile.
them for staying in touch like that. All right, speaking of vehicles, sometimes there's, you know, vehicles to me are nostalgic. I always hate getting rid of a car when I get a new vehicle. These guys, somebody jumped through a lot of hoops to find something from their childhood.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so stories kind of go on themes, right? I'm on the old vehicle with sentimental value kick right now. This story I've been working on for about 6 months. I first heard about it, and she did not want to do it. And Sandy texted me one morning and said, okay, Jody, I think I'll do it. And I said, okay, I'll be there at 11.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, today? I was like, heck yeah, you're going to change your mind. I got to get there before you change your mind. So Sandy grew up, small world, close to my husband's farm in Mott. She went to Richardson. I'm pretty sure her dad went to high school with my father-in-law, so this is a whole small town North Dakota thing. But she wanted this pickup. She was very sad when her dad sold it when she was living in Fargo, and so she's kind of been off and on looking for it. for about 10 years.
It's a 77, if I remember right.
Yeah, she happened to be driving down the strip in the middle of that construction this summer, and it caught her eye, and she said she had to figure out how to turn around in the middle of all that.
Yep.
And 2 days later, she and her boyfriend were back, and they bought it, and they drove it home. And she says, you know, there's a few things. The radio doesn't work, the wipers don't work great, but just having that her dad has passed away is really special
And
to
that
her.
is the exact.
She did.
It's
She
not
went
a
through,
replica.
She
it's
went
the exact.
through all the paperwork with DOT to find out for sure, and she got a copy of the title with her dad's signature on it. And so
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's his.
All right, Jody, we're down to 10 seconds. I'm going to ask you really quickly, anything special coming up that we can
Oh,
look forward
you
to?
need to watch the show today.
Okay.
Twins celebrating their 92nd birthday.
How cool is that? Thank
Very
you,
cool.
Jody.
They're great.
Always fun talking to
Yes.
you. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having